Okay, welcome back to my channel. So, I wanted to do a quick video real quick because someone asked an amazing question earlier this morning. And the question was, is the Samsung Arc or Samsung Odyssey Arc worth $3,499? And that is such an interesting question. And because the answer is yes, absolutely yes, but it's also no. And so let's unpack why that is. And so first and foremost, let's unpack why it's a yes. It's the first of its kind. It is the first monitor that is 55 inches large diagonally, while also having a 1000R aggressive curve that will wrap the screen around your face and give you a completely immersive gaming experience. Now, the interesting thing about that is that it's 165 hertz refresh rate at 4K, right? And so recently they have launched the 240 hertz 4K monitor, but this is 165 hertz at 55 inches on a curved 4K panel, and that's just a massive amount of smoothness. Is that the right word for that? At that size. But furthermore, let's just talk about the specs in general. It is an extremely fast response time, and I'm going to follow along here on my phone because I'm trying to make this as quick on me as possible, because I wanted to answer this question because it's a fascinating question. 165 hertz rate. It's 1 millisecond gray to gray response time, and it has variable refresh rate, VRR support, AMD FreeSync Premium Pro. It's a quantum mini LED display, right? From there, it has the standard horizontal or landscape model, and then it has the portrait or cockpit, as they say, model that allows it to go vertically and allow you to manage 3 screens at once. Now, at the current time, you can only use one HDMI and then 2 built-in inputs from your PC, if you will. Now, that could be something they can change in future updates, because they do currently have a panel that allows for multiple inputs at once, which is the Neo G9, I believe. So you can have multiple inputs plugged in and have the split screen using those multiple inputs. And so we don't know if that's a hardware limitation at this point or if it's a software limitation. But again, 165 hertz refresh rate, the cockpit mode, and eclipse lighting. The lighting on the back of the screen, depending on where you have it, may not really give you that same effect on the, it may not give you that ambient lighting effect like some of these other monitors that are out right now, including the one behind us, the LG Ultra Gear. But it has 2 built-in subwoofers as well as 4 speakers at each corner. So 1 speaker at each corner of the monitor. And at 55 inches with 2 subwoofers down the middle, that is a really immersive sound. And so that's a full-on, like, high fidelity, if you want to call it that, right? Like Atmos capable sound system. I have the Samsung S95B. It's right out of frame right there. And if you watch any of my other videos, you've seen that. It doesn't have subwoofers built into the frame of the television. And so 55 inches, 4 speakers with 2 subwoofers built into the television. It has built-in Samsung Gaming Hub, and so that Samsung Gaming Hub allows you to stream video game content directly to that monitor, and that just launched this year on your Samsung televisions, right? And so there's other services on other ones, but this one now has Xbox, Stadia, GeForce Now, and there's some other ones on there that I'm not familiar with, and so I can't attest to like how good those are, but I know that 2 of those are really good. Stadia is kind of, it's subjective, right? All of them are subjective in reality, right? It's a matte screen, but it's HDR, HDR10, HDR10 plus, and of course we know that Samsung's not adding in the other good things like Dolby Digital or Dolby IQ or all of these different things that are coming in for some of the other platforms. One really, really big and very understated notion for this particular monitor is that it has built-in artificial intelligence for processing of what's happening on the screen. And so this, to my knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the only gaming monitor with built-in artificial intelligence that is going to be processing the picture that you see to give you the best possible picture. Now, I know it's been debated at this point that the way that the television is set up, it's like 27 inch as far as like the PPI or pixels per inch, and that it isn't going to be as dense as what some of the other smaller monitors are. But from some of the first impressions videos that have came out this week, it looks pretty darn good, right? And so even if the PPI may not be as tight as what you would get from a smaller compact monitor, like, right, they used to say 27 inch was a sweet spot, it looked good, right? And so I haven't seen one in person. This is a conversation, right? So I did not get the opportunity to put hands on the actual product, but that's what they're saying, right? And so from there, it has this exclusive controller, right? And so this controller is like the first time we've ever seen this, which gives that monitor the ability to go all the way from 55 inches down to 27 inches on the screen and move the screen on that panel, you know, in the middle of your eyesight, bottom, top, whatever, you know, using that one box there. And that, I mean, that technology in itself and being able to control it with that little desk controller is, again, it's a new, like, they're, you know, these big format screens are starting to come out with the remote controls, and this is like that next elevation of that, right? It's really interactive. It's just not buttons, right? I'm thinking the LG Ultra Gear, what is it, PQ48, whatever it is, their OLED monitor that just released, has that really weird remote with like 4 preschool buttons on it. You know, I don't know what they were thinking with that. But from there, from there, it's a quantum matrix technology display, and so mini LED display as in regards to trying to create those perfect blacks, those minimal haloing effects, and different things like that. Another commenter, and forgive me if you see this video and I don't know your name or can't find it. There's a lot of comments on there, but I want to please respond to the video. They mentioned that this is a matte screen, right? And so one of the things that they mentioned that I hadn't even thought of I mean, I'm not an expert, right? But I hadn't thought of to this point is that the matte screen, because of how aggressive that curve is, helps that there's no weird reflections from side to side or internally to that curve, right? And so even that research and development, or that user experience, research of how that will affect the user, is a really, really big, win for that as well, or cool feature, not win, but cool feature, right? That they thought of to make sure that the best experience was had. There's a ton of specs on this thing, right? There's a ton of, contrast is amazing. Game Bar 2.0, we just talked about that kind of when talking about the streaming services. All of the smart things like the HDMI 2.1, 120 hertz gaming from console, like all of the things. And then let's not forget, this is the first gaming monitor with the One Connect box. That One Connect box is such an underrated feature for this particular monitor. It allows you, and again, let me do just my PC is over there underneath that lamp. It's about, I messed it up at this point, but my PC's way over there, like almost 8 feet from me. That One Connect box allows for the perfect cable management. You have one very thin cable that you can get. I mean, there's even extensions for those, right? You can get stupid lengths for that cable to move all of your equipment to an AV unit or whatever. For you content creators, like myself, imagine being able to have that One Connect box way over there and have all of this space with just clear desk setup without worrying about cable management and different things like that. I got one cable to move all the way over there, and outside of like my Sonos Arc bar on my desk, aside for that, no cable management to worry about. And of course, Goldie LED lights, right? Behind the lights and stuff like that. Lighting. So that's all of the reasons why, yes, from a feature benefit standpoint. The second is it's the first of its kind, so it's always going to be expensive. Third, emotionally, it is an enthusiast-based monitor. And so I've been having these conversations myself, right? Like $3,499 is not money that I can just take out of my pocket and say, boom, here you go. I want it. Ship it, right? I can't do that. And so I got to say, okay, over the next really 6 months to a year, what am I going to get rid of, right? To go pay for something like that. That is very, very niche, to say the least, because I can't do productivity work on that because of the curve is so aggressive. It may mess with the timelines, and it's a weird setup compared to what I've used to for so long. So me personally, just talking about me now. Also, I wouldn't sit there for work, and so it would only be for gaming. Do I get to game enough to justify a $3,499 monitor? I don't. I really don't. And so for me, my persona, I work a lot. I work all day long during my day work, and then at night I do this content creation, and I try to keep this YouTube channel. I try to keep my work straight. My job, my professional job, is extremely busy. Lots of duties, lots of people that I support, blah, blah, blah. Content creation at night, I'm working right now. It is 9:40 p.m. by the time I finish editing this for a tomorrow release, 11 o'clock minimum, if I can finish this video up in the next few minutes. And so for me, it's really not practical for me to buy that. The benefit to me is literally so I would have it in hand to show all of you, to make content reels, to make YouTube videos, to try to recoup that investment back monetarily by AdSense and different things like that, right? I don't do a lot of affiliate links or anything like that. I'm really doing this channel out of pure enjoyment. And so in order to justify that purchase of that much money, how close can I get back to that investment, which is not very, I don't make any really money on this channel. It's really, really small. But this is a passion of mine, and I love the community. And so in order for me to purchase that, like, it would be pure. I need to get this thing for YouTube, potential YouTube growth, potential reels on Instagram, potential TikTok, desk setup pictures. Shout out to Logitech for sharing my picture on Twitter yesterday. Thank you. By the time you see it today for me, yesterday for you. But I really would have to figure out ways to try to make that money work for me, because from a personal use standpoint, it doesn't make sense, right? I could buy at $3,500, I could buy the 42-inch OLED Asus. I could buy the 48-inch OLED Asus. I could buy both of those, right? Or I could buy the 42-inch LG C2 for back there, and also the 48-inch LG to replace the monitor here. There's so many different, I could invest that money in my basement. I'm currently finishing up my basement and creating a space over there, but it's going to take me a while because, again, it's out of pocket, all out of pocket. There's a lot of different places that me and my persona work all day, work all night, trying to grow a channel, that I could take that risk, or I could keep trying to organically grow with discussions that are valuable for you all that are making these decisions. And so that's my persona, and that's my thought process on if I would purchase this at $3,499. The reasons you would not purchase that is that it's not practical to you. You may not have the desk space, and so you may not enjoy that size. You may not enjoy a curved monitor at this point. It may be better money spent by buying a cheaper, more affordable monitor like the 48-inch, 42-inch Asus, the 48-inch LG that just released, the 34-inch Alienware that released recently, the Neo G9 that often pops on sale at around that. I've seen it as low, I think, as $2,000 for the top version of it. There's, you could build a computer at $34.99 with all new specs, especially with the new graphics cards coming out. The other ones are dropping really low. There's a lot of different spaces that you can spend $3,499, but That monitor is for an enthusiast. It's for someone that needs cutting edge, wants cutting edge, can afford cutting edge, and wants to, like, again, like us content creators, that's our niche, like gaming and setups and different things like that all day long. It's not at the price point yet for just the average person to go out and pick it up. It's not even designed for the average person to go out and pick it up. And so it may not be worth it to you to spend that money. If you're like a casual gamer, low key, gamer, budget conscious, different things like that. But if you have expendable capital or play money, crazy setups, content creation, you have the racing sim situation, right? That racing sim situation, that thing would be beautiful. Flight simulators, you're playing flight simulators, you're playing space simulators. So many different reasons for that to be, yours as an enthusiast. But as far as just like flat out monitor specs, no. 4K 165 hertz, you can get that somewhere else. The biggest thing to that outside of that is the ability to change the size and the fact that it has built-in artificial intelligence to give you the best possible picture at all times. And it's mini LED, so it's super, super bright. And so I try to keep this short. I talk a lot. I'm so sorry. Let's discuss this in the comment section below, because this is a big question. It's a big conversation. Looking forward to hear your thoughts. I love the fact that you all are so active in the comment section. Thank you so much for the support. So that's it for me for now. As always, stay cozy in that crazy world, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Listen to me as I